Okay, I got my slab rolled out here, okay? It's on a big work board, but that's not all that critical right now. Things that you're going to need, you'll need a cup of water. I like to grab a small sponge, all right? Needle tool, blue rib, okay? I grabbed a couple of different modeling tools. Just kind of depends on what you're gonna be making. So I've got this wooden one, tongue depressor, popsicle stick, of course. I like this one also just because it has a couple of different shapes and that sort of thing to work with. And then I grabbed one of the metal ones that has kind of an X-Acto blade, kind of a triangular blade on one side and then this kind of hooked blade on the other. And then our handy dandy comb, all right? First things first, as always, we wanna go ahead and make sure that we smooth out that canvas texture. We don't want any canvas texture. Because we're making a mask, okay, one thing we need to consider about this is the fact that if this is going to be a human face, and that's what I'm going to be showing you guys is how to make a human-based mask, okay? I have never seen a human that has the texture of canvas on their face. So if I see that in your project, very good chance you're going to lose points for it. So please make sure you start out with a perfectly smooth surface, okay? So that when we drape this and we make this into our mask, it's gonna work a lot better. Now, the other thing that you're also going to need is you're gonna need 3 full sheets of newspaper, okay? So here we're using our Frontline newspaper, which was just leftovers, so it was just gonna be thrown away. And what we're gonna do is, and this is important, make sure that you separate the pieces individually. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna wad up, crumple it up, really loosely. I'm not making like a really tight ball with this, okay? And then I'm gonna add another piece here, okay? And what I'm going for is I'm kind of going for lack of a better term, a football kind of a shape, a football or an egg shape or something like that. So that's 2, and we're gonna add the 3rd one here, okay? Now, if you're using our Frontline newspaper, 3 pieces is good. If you're using a New York Times, Orange County Register, or a full-size newspaper, 2 sheets usually is enough. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect, all right? All we're doing is just kind of making it into that kind of egg shape, okay? And we'll talk about the shape of a face and the eyes and all that kind of stuff in just a minute. But as you can kind of see, this is starting to make the outline of a face. Now, this is called a drape mold, okay? Remember, ceramics people are fairly simple people. I'm gonna just cut this just a little bit, keep our pieces off to the side just so it's a little bit easier to work with, okay? Because I don't need to use all of this to create my mask, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is I am going to lift this up, place my newspaper underneath, and then drape my clay over the top of it. Hence the name drape mold. Now, when you do this, all right, you can see a little bit of a scratch there, but that just smooths out, okay? What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put some light pressure, and what you'll notice is that it should have a nice high curve to it, and you can see that in the video here. That's the newspaper supporting the clay and causing it to become round. We want that there because our faces are round. We don't want this to be completely flat. If it's flat, it doesn't look realistic, all right? And this is the problem with things that are realistic is because everybody knows what a face looks like. So if it's a little bit off or it's a little bit different, people are gonna notice it. So we wanna make sure it's as clean and as accurate as possible. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna kind of press around and kind of feel for the shape of my newspaper that's underneath, okay? And it should have kind of that, I don't know, egg, football, kind of the gray alien kind of a shape if you're a conspiracy theorist and ancient aliens and all that kind of stuff. Those shows, believe it or not, I like them, okay? We wanna make sure that it's got that nice shape. So I can show you that way, okay? So that looks a little bit more realistic for you guys since that way it won't be upside down. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm just gonna do a really rough cut, okay, around here. Get rid of all of this stuff since we don't need it. Okay, we'll set that aside. We'll use those pieces later on. Now, what I wanna do is I'm gonna start going for the finishing shape, and this is gonna determine what the shape of my mask is going to be. Now, this will also depend on what you're planning on making, okay? So if you're making something that's animal related, if you're making something that is you know, completely alien or a monster of some kind, you may want to change the shape. I am just, for demonstration purposes, showing you how to make a human shape, okay? A human shape is somewhat what I am familiar with, what I have an idea of how to make, so I will go ahead and do that, okay? For your project, you get to decide what you want to do, okay? So there you can see, I've got the beginning of what's going to become a face, all right? So let's talk about proportions in the next video, and then we'll go into start making this here.